Good evening. Welcome back to Ponzinomics. I'm Alex.
Evening all, I'm Sam. Tonight, Germany, a car company founded by Adolf Hitler that used slave labour during the Second World War, that spent decades rebuilding itself into a symbol of German engineering excellence and integrity, and then got caught lying to the entire world about how dirty its cars actually were, for 7 years, across 11 million vehicles.
Volkswagen Dieselgate. The most expensive corporate scandal in automotive history.
Let's start at the very beginning, because the beginning is important.
Volkswagen. The name literally means people's car. It was founded on the 28th of May, 1937. Not by engineers, not by entrepreneurs, by the Nazi German labor front backed by Adolf Hitler, who wanted to provide affordable motorized transport to ordinary German workers. The car was designed by Ferdinand Porsche, yes, that Porsche, and the company was incorporated in what was then called the City of the Strength Through Joy car, which was a real place name.
The City of the Strength Through Joy car, named after a Nazi leisure program. The founding document of what would become the world's largest car manufacturer.
When the Second World War began, the Volkswagen factory switched production. Instead of people's cars, military vehicles. The Kubelwagen, the Schwimmwagen, and the V-1 flying bomb. The factory manufactured flying bombs that were dropped on Britain. It was a major Allied bombing target as a result. And to power all of this production, slave labor. Volkswagen admitted in 1998 that it used approximately 15,000 slaves during the war effort. German historians estimated that 80% of the wartime workforce was slave labor, sourced from the Arbeitsdorf concentration camp.
80%. Slave labour. The company would later spend billions on its brand identity as a symbol of honest German craftsmanship. The foundation was slaves and flying bombs.
After the war, under British administration, the factory was rebuilt and the Beetle entered production. Over the following decades, Volkswagen became genuinely one of the world's great car manufacturers. The Beetle, the Golf, the Passat, the Polo. By the 2000s, the group also owned Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, Bentley, Bugatti, Seat, and Skoda. The second largest automaker in the world by sales. A genuinely extraordinary industrial success story.
Built on a foundation that they occasionally had to pay compensation for. But yes, extraordinary success.
The fraud begins with a specific engineering problem. In the early 2000s, American emission standards for nitrogen oxide, NOx, were tightening significantly. Diesel engines produce far more NOx than petrol engines. It's a fundamental characteristic of how diesel combustion works. To meet the new U.S. standards, you needed expensive emissions treatment systems, urea-based technology that added cost and complexity to the vehicle.
And Volkswagen's solution was?
Not to meet the standards, to pretend to meet them. Around 2006, Volkswagen engineers programmed the engine control unit, the car's central computer, to detect when it was being tested for emissions. The software recognized the specific conditions of an emissions test: the wheels turning on rollers, the steering wheel straight, a particular pattern of speed and load. When those conditions were detected, the car switched into a clean mode, low power, full emissions treatment. It met the standards.
And in normal driving?
The software switched back, full power mode. Emissions treatment largely disabled. The cars were pumping out up to 40 times the legal limit of nitrogen oxide. In every car park, every motorway, every school run, 40 times. While the test data said they were clean.
40 times the legal limit. In real-world driving, while showing clean in the lab.
And it's worth understanding what nitrogen oxide actually does. It's not carbon dioxide. It's not the climate change gas. NOx is an immediate health hazard. It causes respiratory disease, it damages lungs, it kills people. In London at the time, diesel road traffic was responsible for 40% of all NOx emissions. 3,000 deaths per year in London alone were attributed to air pollution. Volkswagen's cars were contributing to that.
3,000 people a year in one city.
The cars were also winning awards for being green. The 2009 Volkswagen Jetta diesel was named Green Car of the Year. That award was rescinded in 2015 when the fraud came out. And VW was receiving green car tax subsidies in the United States, taxpayer money, based on fraudulent emissions data. The public were subsidizing the fraud.
The car that was poisoning the air won Green Car of the Year. And taxpayers paid subsidies for it because it was so clean.
The fraud ran from approximately 2009 to 2015. 11 million cars worldwide. 500,000 in the United States. And the crucial detail? Bosch, the supplier who provided the software, had allegedly warned Volkswagen in 2007 not to use it illegally, not to use it in production vehicles. Volkswagen used it anyway.
The supplier told them not to do it, illegally, and they did it anyway, in 11 million cars.
How was it discovered? Not by the EPA, not by the European regulators who were legally responsible for catching exactly this. By researchers at West Virginia University. A team of academics commissioned by the International Council on Clean Transportation drove Volkswagen diesel cars on actual roads with portable emissions testing equipment. And the numbers didn't match the lab results. Not slightly, massively.
A university research team. Driving cars on real roads. Found what every regulator in America and Europe had missed for 6 years.
The EPA had been testing these cars in laboratories, on rollers, with the wheels turning but the car stationary, which is precisely the condition the software was programmed to detect and respond to. The regulators were following the rules. The car was following different rules.
The test was designed to catch cheating. The cheating was designed to beat the test. And it worked for 6 years.
In September 2015, the EPA issued its violation notice. The story broke globally. Volkswagen's stock price fell by a third in days. The CEO, Martin Winterkorn, resigned. He was later charged with fraud in the United States. He has never been extradited from Germany. He denies knowledge of the specific defeat device.
He didn't know about the software installed in 11 million cars that his company built over 6 years, of which Der Spiegel reported at least 30 management-level people were aware.
At least 30 people knew, according to that reporting. Volkswagen denied it at the time. The total cost of the scandal, fines, penalties, buybacks, compensation, reached $33.3 billion.
$33 billion to cover up an engineering problem that would have cost significantly less to solve legitimately.
That's the most remarkable part. The honest solution, actually building cars that met the emissions standards, would have been expensive, but it would have been a fraction of $33 billion. They chose the lie because it was cheaper. Until it wasn't.
And this is the bit that goes beyond corporate fraud into something more uncomfortable. Because Volkswagen didn't just cheat an emissions test. They actively poisoned the air that people breathed. They knew their cars were producing 40 times the legal limit of a gas that kills people. and they kept selling them as clean and collecting subsidies for being green.
The Ponzinomics mechanism here is slightly different from our usual stories. They weren't borrowing against a financial future that didn't exist. They were borrowing against an environmental standard that they couldn't meet. They took the benefit, the sales, the subsidies, the green car awards, the reputation, without delivering what they promised. And the debt, when it came due, was measured not just in dollars, but in people's health.
A company founded by Adolf Hitler, built on slave labour, that used the post-war decades to construct a reputation for German integrity and engineering honesty, and then deliberately poisoned 11 million customers' neighbourhoods while collecting green subsidies for it.
To be clear, the modern Volkswagen Group is a fundamentally different entity from what it was in 1937. Thousands of employees had nothing to do with any of this. But the thread from the founding to the fraud runs through a consistent idea that the rules are something to be managed, not followed. Whether that's the rules about human labor or the rules about air quality.
$33 billion, 11 million cars, 40 times the legal limit, slave labour, flying bombs, green car of the year.
Just a car company.
Just a car company.
Next episode, we go back to football, to Bury FC, a club founded in 1885 that played in the Football League for 125 years, that was expelled from the Football League in 2019 because of financial mismanagement so severe that the club simply ceased to exist. No relegation, no administration and recovery, just gone.
This time it's different, yeah?
It never is.